Welcome to the Bible Quiz and Trivia channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating Book of Ruth, exploring deep themes of loyalty, redemption, and the surprising paths of God's provision. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video to support our content. After the quiz, share your score in the comments. We love seeing how well you do. Are you ready? Let's get started. Question 1. What was the relationship between Ruth and Naomi? A. Sisters. B. Mother-daughter. C. Mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. D. Friends. Answer: C. Mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Ruth was Naomi's daughter-in-law, having married one of Naomi's sons. Their relationship is a key part of the narrative, showcasing loyalty and family commitment. Ruth 1-4-5. Question 2. Why did Naomi and her family go to Moab? A. Political exile. B. Religious pilgrimage. C. Famine in Bethlehem. D. To visit relatives. Answer: C. Famine in Bethlehem. Naomi's family went to Moab due to a famine in Bethlehem, seeking sustenance and survival, highlighting the harsh conditions they faced. Ruth 1-1. Question 3. What was Naomi's husband's name? A. Boaz. B. Elimelech. C. Mahlon. D. Kilian. Answer: B. Elimelech. Naomi's husband was named Elimelech. His death left Naomi and her sons without a patriarch, significantly impacting their family structure. Ruth 1-2-3. Question 4. Name the two sons of Naomi. A. Mahlon and Chilion. B. Boaz and Obed. C. Jesse and David. D. Samuel and Eli. Answer: A. Mahlon and Chilion. Naomi's two sons were Mahlon and Chilion, both of whom also died in Moab, leaving their mother and wives in a precarious situation. Ruth 1-2, 1-5. Question 5. Where was Ruth originally from? A. Israel. B. Moab. C. Egypt. D. Canaan. Answer: B. Moab. Ruth was originally from Moab, making her story unique as she became one of the few Moabites positively depicted in the biblical narrative. Ruth 1-4. Question 6. How were Orpah and Ruth related to Naomi? A. Cousins. B. Daughters. C. Daughters-in-law. D. Neighbors. Answer: C. Daughters-in-law. Orpah and Ruth were Naomi's daughters-in-law, married to Naomi's sons Mahlon and Chilion. Ruth 1-4. Question 7. What tragedy struck Naomi's family in Moab? A. Loss of property. B. Death of her husband and sons. C. Imprisonment. D. Exile from the community. Answer: B. Death of her husband and sons. The tragedy that struck Naomi in Moab was the death of her husband Elimelech and later both of her sons, leaving her without immediate male family support. Ruth 1-3-5. Question 8. After her husband's death, what did Naomi decide to do? A. Stay in Moab. B. Move to Egypt. C. Return to Bethlehem. D. Travel to Jerusalem. Answer: C. Return to Bethlehem. After the death of her husband and sons, Naomi decided to return to Bethlehem, hoping for a better life due to the end of the famine. Ruth 1-6-7. Question 9. What did Naomi tell her daughters-in-law to do when she decided to return to Bethlehem? A. Come with her. B. Stay in Moab and remarry. C. Move to Jerusalem. D. Seek their fortunes elsewhere. Answer: B. Stay in Moab and remarry. Naomi urged her daughters-in-law to stay in Moab and remarry, thinking it would offer them a better chance of a new life. Ruth 1 to 8-9. Question 10. Which daughter-in-law insisted on staying with Naomi? A. Orpah. B. Ruth. C. Both. D. Neither. Answer: B. Ruth. Ruth insisted on staying with Naomi, famously pledging her loyalty and declaring, "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God." Ruth 1:16-17. Question 11. What did Naomi say she should be called when she returned to Bethlehem because she felt the Lord had dealt bitterly with her? A. Sarah. B. Mara. C. Elizabeth. D. Deborah. Answer: B. Mara. Naomi told the people to call her Mara, meaning bitter, reflecting her feelings about the harshness of her life after losing her husband and sons. Ruth 1:20. Question 12. During what harvest did Ruth go to work in the fields upon returning to Bethlehem? A. Wheat. B. Barley. C. Olive. D. Grape. Answer: B. Barley. Ruth went to work in the fields during the barley harvest, gleaning leftover grains to support herself and Naomi. Ruth 1:22, 2-2. Question 13. Whose field did Ruth end up gleaning in when she returned to Bethlehem? A. Elimelech's. B. Boaz's. C. Obed's. D. Jesse's. Answer: B. Boaz's. Ruth ended up gleaning in the field of Boaz, who was related to her father-in-law, Elimelech. Ruth 2-1-3. Question 14. How was Boaz related to Naomi? A. Brother. B. Cousin. C. Nephew. D. Kinsman. Answer: D. Kinsman. Boaz was a kinsman of Naomi's deceased husband, Elimelech, placing him in a position to act as a kinsman-redeemer. Ruth 2-1, 2:20. Question 15. What was Boaz's first reaction when he noticed Ruth in his field? A. Anger. B. Curiosity. C. Indifference. D. Welcome. Answer: B. Curiosity. Boaz's first reaction was curiosity. He inquired about who she was, leading to his subsequent acts of kindness. Ruth 2-5-6. Question 16. What specific instructions did Boaz give to his workers regarding Ruth? A. Ignore her. B. Drive her away. C. Allow her to glean. D. Let her glean among the sheaves and do not rebuke her. Answer: D. Let her glean among the sheaves and do not rebuke her. Boaz instructed his workers to allow Ruth to glean even among the sheaves and not to rebuke her, ensuring her safety and ample provision. Ruth 2:15-16. Question 17. How did Boaz show kindness to Ruth when she was gleaning in his field? A. Gave her water. B. Allowed her to eat with the reapers. C. Offered her a job. D. Both A and B. Answer: D. Both A and B. Boaz showed kindness by allowing Ruth to drink the water the men had drawn and inviting her to eat with the reapers, providing her with roasted grain. Ruth 2-8-9, 2-14. Question 18. What did Ruth bring back to Naomi after her first day of gleaning? A. Money. B. A basket of barley. C. Leftover roasted grain. D. A promise of more food. Answer: C. Leftover roasted grain. After her first day, Ruth brought back to Naomi the leftover roasted grain she had received from Boaz, demonstrating her care and the success of her efforts. Ruth 2:17-18. Question 19. What advice did Naomi give Ruth regarding Boaz after Ruth's first day in his field? A. Leave his field. B. Stay close to his female workers. C. Ask him for money. D. Return to her family in Moab. Answer: B. Stay close to his female workers. Naomi advised Ruth to stay close to Boaz's female workers to ensure her safety and to continue benefiting from Boaz's protection and generosity. Ruth 2:22. Question 20. What risky thing did Ruth do at Naomi's suggestion to secure her and Naomi's future? A. Stole grain. B. Left Bethlehem. C. Proposed marriage to Boaz. D. Confronted Boaz publicly. Answer: C. Proposed marriage to Boaz. At Naomi's suggestion, Ruth took the risky step of proposing marriage to Boaz by lying down at his feet on the threshing floor, a move that ultimately secured her and Naomi's future. Ruth 3:19. Question 21. How did Boaz respond to Ruth's actions at the threshing floor? A. He was upset. B. He promised to marry her if no closer kin would redeem her. C. He ignored her. D. He sent her away. Answer: B. He promised to marry her if no closer kin would redeem her. Boaz responded positively to Ruth's actions at the threshing floor, praising her loyalty, and promised to act as her redeemer if a closer relative did not fulfill that role, demonstrating his integrity and respect for customs. Ruth 3:10-13. Question 22. What obstacle had to be resolved before Boaz could marry Ruth? A. Ruth's family's approval. B. The approval of Naomi. C. A closer relative's right to redeem. D. The permission from the town elders. Answer: C. A closer relative's right to redeem. Before Boaz could marry Ruth, he had to resolve the issue of a closer relative who had the first right to redeem Naomi's land and marry Ruth, adhering to the laws of levirate marriage and property redemption. Ruth 4:16. Question 23. Who was the closer relative that had the first right to redeem Naomi's land? A. Elimelech. B. Mahlon. C. A nameless relative. D. Kilian. Answer: C. A nameless relative. The closer relative who initially had the right to redeem Naomi's land is not named in the Book of Ruth. Boaz discusses the matter with this relative publicly at the town gate. Ruth 4:14. Question 24. What was the tradition mentioned in Ruth involving a sandal? A. A sign of marriage. B. A sign of mourning. C. A symbol of redemption. D. A symbol of travel. Answer: C. A symbol of redemption. The tradition involving a sandal in the Book of Ruth was a symbolic act of transferring rights. The closer relative gave Boaz his sandal to signify the transfer of the right to redeem Naomi's land and marry Ruth. Ruth 4:7-8. Question 25. How did the closer kinsman respond to Boaz's proposal about redeeming the land and marrying Ruth? A. He agreed immediately. B. He refused because he did not want to impair his inheritance. C. He asked for money. D. He left the decision to the elders. Answer: B. He refused because he did not want to impair his inheritance. The closer kinsman initially agreed to redeem the land but declined upon learning it would involve marrying Ruth, fearing it might jeopardize his own inheritance. Ruth 4:5-6. Question 26. What was the community's response when Boaz declared his intention to marry Ruth? A. They were indifferent. B. They blessed their union. C. They were opposed. D. They were confused. Answer: B. They blessed their union. The community at the gate, including the elders and all present, blessed Boaz and Ruth's impending marriage, invoking the Lord's prosperity and invoking the legacy of Perez upon them. Ruth 4:11-12. Question 27. What was the blessing given to Ruth by the elders and the people at the gate? A. Wealth and honor. B. Long life and happiness. C. That she be like Rachel and Leah. D. Many children and good health. Answer. C. That she be like Rachel and Leah. The elders and those at the gate blessed Ruth by expressing hopes that she would build a house in Israel like Rachel and Leah did, contributing significantly to the lineage of Israel. Ruth 4:11. Question 28. What was the name of Ruth and Boaz's son? A. Jesse. B. David. C. Obed. D. Solomon. Answer. C. Obed. Ruth and Boaz's son was named Obed. He became the father of Jesse, who was the father of David, linking Ruth directly to the Davidic lineage. Ruth 4:17. Question 29. How was Ruth related to King David? A. His grandmother. B. His mother. C. His great-grandmother. D. His aunt. Answer. C. His great-grandmother. Ruth is the great-grandmother of King David, as she was the mother of Obed, who fathered Jesse, the father of David. Ruth 4:17. Question 30. How many generations are mentioned between Perez and David in the Book of Ruth? A. 5. B. 10. C. 4. D. 7. Answer. B. 10. The Book of Ruth concludes with a genealogy listing 10 generations from Perez to David, highlighting the divine and historical significance of Ruth's story within the lineage leading to David. Ruth 4:18-22. Question 31. What is the significance of Ruth in the genealogy of Jesus? A. She was a symbolic figure. B. She was an ancestor. C. She was a prophetess. D. She was a scribe. Answer. B. She was an ancestor. Ruth is significant in the genealogy of Jesus as she is listed as one of his ancestors in the Gospel of Matthew, highlighting her role in the messianic lineage. Matthew 1-5. Question 32. What main theme is depicted throughout the Book of Ruth? A. Justice. B. Loyalty. C. Conquest. D. Sacrifice. Answer. B. Loyalty. The main theme of the Book of Ruth is loyalty. Ruth's unwavering loyalty to Naomi and Boaz's loyalty to the family obligations exemplify this theme throughout the narrative. Question 33. How does the Book of Ruth contribute to understanding the concept of a kinsman-redeemer? A. By showing legal transactions in Israel. B. By introducing Boaz's role as a redeemer. C. By detailing the wars of redemption. D. By outlining priestly duties. Answer. B. By introducing Boaz's role as a redeemer. The Book of Ruth contributes significantly to the understanding of the kinsman-redeemer concept through Boaz, who acts as a redeemer to Ruth and Naomi, fulfilling his duty to protect the interests of family members in need. Question 34. What literary technique is prevalent in the Book of Ruth regarding its structure? A. Allegory. B. Chiasmus. C. Parable. D. Metaphor. Answer. B. Chiasmus. Chiasmus, a structural technique where themes or narrative details are mirrored in a crossover pattern, is prevalent in the Book of Ruth, enhancing its literary depth and emphasizing key themes. Question 35. How does the story of Ruth and Naomi exemplify loyalty? A. Through Ruth's dedication to Naomi's family. B. Through battles fought by Naomi. C. Through Naomi's return to Moab. D. Through Ruth's return to her native land. Answer A. Through Ruth's dedication to Naomi's family. Ruth's decision to stay with Naomi, her mother-in-law, after the death of their husbands, and her efforts to support them both financially and emotionally, exemplify deep loyalty and commitment. Question 36. In what way is the Book of Ruth a foreshadowing of New Testament themes? A. Prophecies of wars. B. Concepts of redemption and inclusion. C. Descriptions of kingdoms. D. Rules of governance. Answer B. Concepts of redemption and inclusion. The Book of Ruth foreshadows New Testament themes through its focus on redemption and the inclusion of a Moabite woman into the community of God's people, which parallels the expansion of the gospel to the Gentiles. Question 37. How is the law of gleaning demonstrated in the Book of Ruth? A. Through Boaz's instructions to his workers. B. Through battles over land. C. Through Ruth's legal arguments. D. Through the elders' decrees. Answer A. Through Boaz's instructions to his workers. The law of gleaning, which allowed the poor and the foreigner to glean the fields after the harvesters, is demonstrated as Boaz instructs his workers to leave extra grain for Ruth, showing compassion and adherence to the law. Leviticus 19-9-10, Ruth 2:15-16. Question 38. What does the Book of Ruth teach about God's providence? A. It is unpredictable. B. It is absent. C. It works through ordinary events. D. It is reserved for the wealthy. Answer C. It works through ordinary events. The Book of Ruth teaches that God's providence often works through ordinary events and decisions of everyday life, such as Ruth choosing to glean in Boaz's field, leading to extraordinary outcomes. Question 39. How does the story of Ruth contrast with the period of the Judges? A. By focusing on international politics. B. By emphasizing peace and domestic life. C. By highlighting military conquests. D. By detailing priestly rituals. Answer B. By emphasizing peace and domestic life. The story of Ruth contrasts with the turbulent period of the Judges by focusing on personal relationships, loyalty, and domestic life, providing a narrative of hope and restoration amidst the broader context of national moral and social chaos. Question 40. What role does the theme of redemption play in the Book of Ruth? A. It is a minor subplot. B. It drives the main narrative. C. It is mentioned only in the genealogies. D. It is absent from the story. Answer B. It drives the main narrative. Redemption is a central theme in the Book of Ruth, driving the main narrative through Boaz's role as the kinsman-redeemer for Ruth and Naomi, symbolizing God's redemptive love for his people. Question 41. How is the concept of heesed, loving kindness, illustrated in Ruth? A. Through Ruth's loyalty to Naomi. B. Through military victories. C. Through legal disputes. D. Through priestly rituals. Answer A. Through Ruth's loyalty to Naomi. The concept of heesed is illustrated through Ruth's unwavering loyalty and kindness towards Naomi, as she chooses to stay with her mother-in-law, despite having no obligations to do so, embodying selfless love and devotion. Ruth 1:16-17. Question 42. How does Ruth's story reflect the integration of a foreigner into Israel? A. By showing Ruth's rejection. B. By depicting Ruth's acceptance and her role in the community. C. By ignoring her origins. D. By highlighting constant conflict. Answer B. By depicting Ruth's acceptance and her role in the community. Ruth's story reflects the integration of a foreigner into Israel by showing how she, a Moabite, is accepted into the community of Bethlehem, marries an Israelite, and becomes an ancestor of King David, emphasizing acceptance and inclusion. Ruth 4:13-17. Question 43. What is the significance of the threshing floor scene in the narrative? A. It represents Ruth's poverty. B. It symbolizes judgment. C. It is a turning point where Ruth seeks Boaz's protection in marriage. D. It shows seasonal farming practices. Answer: C. It is a turning point where Ruth seeks Boaz's protection in marriage. The threshing floor scene is significant as it represents a turning point in the narrative where Ruth actively seeks Boaz's protection in marriage, leading to the resolution of her and Naomi's plight and securing their future. Ruth 3-6-9. Question 44. How does Boaz exemplify the qualities of a godly man? A. Through his wealth. B. Through his treatment of Ruth and Naomi. C. By leading battles. D. Through his knowledge of the law. Answer: B. Through his treatment of Ruth and Naomi. Boaz exemplifies the qualities of a godly man through his compassionate, respectful, and protective treatment of Ruth and his careful adherence to Israelite laws and customs, reflecting integrity and righteousness. Ruth 2-8-12, 4-9-10. Question 45. What lessons can be drawn about faithfulness from Naomi's life? A. The impact of negative attitudes. B. The rewards of returning to one's homeland. C. The strength found in bitterness. D. The perseverance through hardship and faithfulness to family. Answer: D. The perseverance through hardship and faithfulness to family. Lessons from Naomi's life include the importance of perseverance through hardship and maintaining faithfulness to family, as her guidance and plans for Ruth eventually lead to security and continuation of her family line. Ruth 1-8-9, 3-1-5. Question 46. How does the marriage of Ruth and Boaz affect the future of Israel? A. It had little impact. B. It solidified trade routes. C. It led to the lineage of King David and ultimately Jesus. D. It created a political alliance. Answer: C. It led to the lineage of King David and ultimately Jesus. The marriage of Ruth and Boaz directly impacts the future of Israel as it continues the lineage that leads to King David and ultimately to Jesus, highlighting the providential unfolding of God's plan through faithful individuals. Ruth 4:17, Matthew 1-5:16. Question 47. What are the implications of Ruth being a Moabite in the story? A. It highlights prejudices. B. It shows the inclusivity of God's love and plan. C. It is irrelevant to the plot. D. It causes constant conflict. Answer: B. It shows the inclusivity of God's love and plan. Ruth being a Moabite and her acceptance into the community of Bethlehem underscore the inclusivity of God's love and plan, demonstrating that faith and loyalty are recognized and blessed, regardless of national origin. Ruth 1-4, 4:13-17. Question 48. How does the Book of Ruth enhance the understanding of Jewish customs and law? A. By critiquing the laws. B. By detailing their complexity. C. By demonstrating the application of laws like levirate marriage and gleaning. D. By ignoring them. Answer: C. By demonstrating the application of laws like levirate marriage and gleaning. The Book of Ruth enhances understanding of Jewish customs and law by showing their compassionate application, such as levirate marriage and gleaning, which protect the vulnerable and ensure community responsibility. Ruth 2-223, 4-110. Question 49. What role do women play in the Book of Ruth compared to other Old Testament books? A. They are mostly background characters. B. They are central figures who drive the narrative. C. They are antagonists. D. They are symbolic figures. Answer B. They are central figures who drive the narrative. In the Book of Ruth, unlike many other Old Testament books, women are central figures. Ruth and Naomi drive the narrative, make key decisions, and their actions directly influence the outcome of the story. Ruth 1-4. Question 50. How does the Book of Ruth contribute to the overarching storyline of redemption in the Bible? A. By showing the lineage of David and Jesus. B. By detailing laws of redemption. C. By focusing on military redemption. D. By being unrelated to the theme. Answer A. By showing the lineage of David and Jesus. The Book of Ruth contributes to the overarching storyline of redemption in the Bible by showing the lineage from Ruth to David and ultimately to Jesus, illustrating how God uses all people in his redemptive plan, and highlighting themes of redemption, loyalty, and divine providence. Ruth 4:13-22, Matthew 1-1:16.